student athletes have somehow gotten around some of the drug testing. How do you have evidence of that? Did student athletes tell you that we knew that was coming up and we decided not to show up or we didn't hear about it?
Just really doubling back with Kirk and Dell and going through all of our protocols and trying to figure out, why haven't we, over the last year, if we've had any positives, why didn't we catch it, etc. And that's probably as deep as I'm comfortable going. But we did have enough evidence. Again, we didn't catch anybody. We don't have a specific person that we can say, we know this person cheated. We're just uncomfortable that our protocols needed to be tightened up, and Dell's working with us to make sure that there's no way it could happen. I should say there's a much less likelihood that it could happen. There's always a chance, and so that's the best answer I can give you.
Kirk, did you hear from multiple parents, and what was their reaction and what was your reaction
I
to
didn't
that?
directly. I got feedback from assistant coaches. Parents contacted them and said, I've got a call from a reporter about, such and such, such and such. Well, it's news to us. So it was pretty clear,
What was your reaction to
As
hearing?
I said, I don't like reporters calling parents, quite frankly. But that's just a personal feeling. That is one of our policies.
It is?
I think it is, yeah. I think it is.
When did you guys kind of realize and decide with the misinformation out there that this needed to take place, that you guys needed to come and talk and kind of address this?
Kirk and I talked yesterday morning about, over the weekend, the change in status of two of our student athletes. And initially, our intent was just to release that like we normally would. And as the day went on, we were both getting feedback that there was a lot more being said out there. So, when you take into account what happened last week, everything between then and now, you take into account what was starting to sound like it was just all sorts of things being said on the social networks, maybe beyond that, we just decided let's sit down and have a conversation. I mean, there's some limit to what we can say, but talk about as much as we could.
Kirk, did you get a sense that when you had that meeting last Thursday that any of your players knew what was going on with Darrell? What he was doing in his private life?
My guess is some did. I don't know. And if that's the case, it's unfortunate nobody came forward. But I don't know. And that all that stuff is yet to be determined. But clearly, there was a reason for the arrest. I mean, there clearly was a reason for that. And based on the articles I read, there was some admission of guilt. But I don't have all those details.
Yeah. You guys help guys get to the NFL. Chris does a great job with that. Is that a possibility for Darrell, or is he done?
I can't comment as to that. I just know this. Every player has a, we all have resumes, and you're either adding to it in a positive way or you're taking away from it. And, that's true of every player in our program. So the good things that you do enhance your chances and abilities to play in the National Football League. And the bad things you do take away from that. I know it's a fact right now that players that graduate with college degrees tend to have longer careers and get paid better. So to me, that's if you want to play in the NFL, it's a good incentive to get your degree and go from there. That's a matter of record. So again, everything you do on the positive side is going to enhance your ability. It's like anybody's going to employ you. They want to employ people that are building a good resume.
But you'd have to wait. If he came to you and said, "Hey, can I take part in your off-season program to get ready for the draft?" You would have to sit down and decide that with him. You just don't know.
No, that decision's been made. Yeah, that decision's been made.
So he's done.
That player's off the team. Yeah, he's done. He's done with us.
Gary, can you clarify this for me? You said that you've been wondering why you didn't catch or have more positives. Are you saying that you suspect that there is a greater number of players that should have tested positive? Is that what you're saying?
As I mentioned, Tom, we haven't caught anybody.
I
so to your point, when you look at the number of people we test, just making sure that should there have been more? I don't know. That's where Dell can help us in terms of percentages. And some years, maybe I think there's years that I've been here we haven't had any.
I understand.
And then there's been a few years where we've had a couple. We've never had a huge number. So that's the best answer I can give you. We just kept looking at everything involved and just decided that, we believe there's some areas we need to tighten up here. We didn't catch anyone, but we just have enough information feeling like we need to tighten down everything we're doing. And Dell and the staff are doing that, and from here forward, we can't estimate that there was one or there was more than one, but we suspect there was at least one, you know, and if there are, then we have the whole thing in question unless we tighten everything down and go through our protocols again and make sure that it doesn't happen going forward.
Kirk, at what point do you, with your players, for lack of a better term, turn them loose off the field when it comes to living arrangements and things like that? Obviously, you have a hand in early when they first come on campus, but as we said, you didn't know who DJK was living with at that point. So at what point does that transition to?
Typically, we started out requiring our players to live on campus for 2 years. We've shifted that to 1 year ago. As long as they're in good standing academically and socially, then we'll let them move off campus. And, you know, it's my experience right now. I think that's probably been fairly healthy. And I'd point out again, it's been a long-standing policy. So, you know, it worked better last year apparently. Maybe it's not working as well this year. That's how you get evaluated basically.
So it's 1 year now?
Good standing and good both academically and all other areas of the program. And I think right now we currently have 2 or 3 players in their second year that live in the dormitory still.